Good morning, this is Johnny Bob. I got a video I want to make this morning. I don't know how to edit, so I'm going to have to do it all in one shot and make it work out. Start off by saying I love you all, friends. And this video is going to be titled What We Are versus Who We Are. Oftentimes people mistake one for the other. And this started out of a conversation I had with a family member who was wanting my opinion on a private school for her daughter. And the school is a Catholic school. As a family, we've tended to be Protestant, Baptist, and went to the Christian church, which I have nothing against anybody Catholic. I told her it would probably be a very good school. Usually the private schools trump all over the public schools when it comes to test scores and stuff like that. I think they tend to focus more on what really is important. And if they have attendance goes up in numbers, they hire more teachers, keep the student-teacher ratio low, whereas a public school will hire more assistant coaches and build more bleachers. So I think the focus on the public schools is often on the wrong thing. And then the following year, the public school will want a referendum to raise taxes because they don't have enough money. Anyhow, this all led to me and my own little mini think tank, as crazy as that probably is, about what we are versus who we are. And I wanted to use some denominational illustrations, and I have no thing against the ones I'm getting ready to use, but I wanted to use them to separate the difference between what we are and who we are. And I'll start off with the Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in celebrating birthdays or the holiday of Christmas. Now sometimes I'm not so big on Christmas either, but anyhow, let's use the illustration of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Let's say you were a Jehovah's Witness, or we knew a Jehovah's Witness that was celebrating a birthday for their child in their house, and one of the overseers came by during that birthday party and came in and was like, "Oh, I can't believe you're having a birthday party. You know, we don't believe in that." And if the person, the mom or dad having a birthday party, would say, "I know, I feel so terrible about it. I know it's just so much fun, but I believe we shouldn't do this, and you're right, and I'm sorry." Then let's go on to the next illustration. See, that person would be a Jehovah's Witness, but they wouldn't be a good Jehovah's Witness or necessarily a practicing Jehovah's Witness. Now let's move on to the illustration of the Latter-day Saints. They've got a really big building up the road here from us, and some of the things they believe, I'll use three for example. Let's use the same scenario. Somebody came over that was in the hierarchy of the Mormon church, and while you answered the door, the person answered the door, you were eating a bowl of oatmeal and had a cup of coffee on the table, and did not have your temple garments on underneath your clothes. Let's say somehow they knew that your shirt was unbuttoned or something. And a lot of people call those the magic underwear, and they make fun of them. And if you want to find out more on any of these things I'm telling you, get online and do your own research. But the Mormons are not supposed to eat oatmeal. They believe oats are for horses, and they abstain from caffeinated beverages, and they also are supposed to wear what they call temple garments underneath their clothes, and it's to remind them of certain things in their doctrine. Using those things as an illustration, back to our visit again. If a member was caught eating oatmeal and drinking coffee and not wearing the temple garments, they could say, "Oh, I know I'm supposed to not eat oatmeal, but man, I just love the way it tastes. You know, it's good for my heart, and the coffee, it just, something about it. Caffeine is my friend, you know. And but I know I shouldn't eat those things and drink those things, and I know I should wear my temple garments, but the shirts I got don't really fit right, and I know I should do these things, but I'm not." Then that person would be a Mormon, but they may not be what you would call a good Mormon, or one that's practicing the fundamentals of the doctrine of their faith. And let's go on to say the Catholic Church. Every denomination believes certain things, and it's America, baby. You can believe what you want. You know, that's the good thing of being in America. So I'm not condemning anybody for believing whatever they want. If you want to believe the Easter Bunny brings eggs to your kids, then you believe it. The Catholic Church, if you go onto the Vatican website, www.vatican.va.com, you can get right from the horse's mouth what they believe. They believe in infant baptism. I believe that's Doctrine 1376 through 1381 or something like that on their website. Also, they believe in intercession of Mary, that Mary will intercede for you to God, and that you can pray to her and any number of other saints. You know, if you're a Catholic, let's say the same illustration again as the other two. Let's say that you practice those things and believe them, then you would be a good Catholic. If you say, well, I really don't believe in the intercession of Mary or the saints, or I really don't believe in infant baptism, I believe you need to do those baptism as a symbol of Christ's death, burial, and resurrection, on, you know, as a thinking youth or adult where you're old enough to actually understand your sin condition. Or another one is the transubstantiation, which is where the Eucharist or the communion wafer actually becomes the body and blood inside of your body upon consumption. The living body of Christ. The wine and the communion wafer will become the living body of Christ inside of you. They call it transubstantiation. Anyhow, I think if you were to get sick and regurgitate that an hour later, it would prove that you wouldn't have any flesh coming back out of you. I believe they get that from John 6. Read it for yourself. But using those as illustrations, if you were don't actually believe in those things, let's say you're a Jehovah's Witness and you think, man, there ain't nothing wrong with birthdays. I got no problem with that. You know, it's just a good time. We're celebrating life, whatever. Then you really would not be a Jehovah's Witness, because a Jehovah's Witness believes that is not a practice to partake in, that it is pagan. If you're a Mormon and you believe, man, to heck with them. I like oatmeal. My doctor says it's good for my heart. I like coffee. I don't overdo it, but I love my coffee in the morning. And the temple garment's just made out of cotton. That ain't nothing. That ain't no different fruit of the loom. Then you're really not a Mormon. You know, you may call yourself what you are is that, but who you are is not that. And if you were a Catholic and you don't believe in the wafer becoming the flesh of Christ in your body, the intercession of prayers through saints or whatever, then you are not really a Catholic. Because what you are is what you do. I'm a maintenance man, an industrial fabricator. That is what I do for a living. I enjoy it. A lot of what you do does affect who you are, and it affects your paycheck. You know, if you're a doctor, you're obviously going to make more than a trash truck driver. But what you are is not, and is never, who you are. I know a guy that I work with. He's a good guy. Doesn't have much of a home life, I believe, but he is at work. I mean, every chance he gets. He's even left work to come back to work, wanting to take paid time off, and just couldn't stand being at home and wanted to be at work. And if you meet him out somewhere, he will introduce himself as, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, supervisor of blah, blah, blah." He will never just say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm so-and-so." Who he is in his mind is interconnected to what he is. And that's a mistake. That's really a sad mistake. You see, the difference is what you are is what you do. Who you are is what you believe. There's just a great chasm between that, and all too many people tend to think what you are is who you are. You know, you might look at this face and go, this ugly face, and go, "That's Johnny Bob." Yeah, it is. But this body is just the vehicle that carries around the real John Henry Andrews. It's just a vehicle. Now, you need to take care of your vehicle just like you need to change oil in your car and not let your body get too heavy and all the other things you need to take care of it, but it's just a vehicle is all it is, and it'll eventually wear out and die. And who you are is what you'll be left with. Now, for myself, I tend to, this probably comes out of being middle-aged. I'm coming up on 47 years old, and you know, when you get to the point in your life where you have more time probably behind you than ahead of you, you start to think about these things. And who you are will determine where you go eventually based on what you believe. So if there's one thing you're going to take the time to make sure it's right and nail it down, is make sure you're right with God. And make sure you believe and know why you believe what you believe. All too many people go off, "My grandma told me once," or "I heard a pastor say," or "Jim Billy Joe Bob down at work says." Don't buy that. Do the work for yourself. Be pleasing to God, and know what it is you believe and why you believe it. This is Johnny Bob.